Started recording. So I'm creating a class for strings data conversions, and what is other one is date. See, date not only related to Java or anything. Whenever you're working on any of the projects, so one of the important thing that will come is means they will have separate sessions on dates. So date is one of the important thing that you need to do. If suppose you are working into some banking domain or some domains, there'll be insurance domains also. There'll be specific to dates, and date operations are very important. And coming to Selenium, the base purpose of using dates is uh, whenever high level management is looking for any reports from our end, they'll be looking for, so basically how it happens is in Selenium, whenever we run a project, the Selenium automation script which we design, it will be running on daily basis. So we can schedule a job at some particular time, and then this Jenkins is one of the tools that picks this job and triggers at that time. So whenever the Selenium scripts execute, the results will be stored at some locations. When you are storing the result, you should make sure that the folder which you are creating for that particular day's report to store the report, you should make sure that it is on the date and timestamp. So this is very important, because suppose in a particular day your script got executed and it got failed. So and someone, when we enter the office, so basically it will be in our morning hours. So it will be like end of US hours and before starting of Indian hours. So in that gap we'll be executing the scripts. So when we suppose we have where that script started after the end of US hours, and now we have started. So why I'm explaining this? Okay, for date operation. So for when I came to office, I saw that, and I again triggered. Since the script got failed, I again triggered it. So it should create another folder for the same particular day. Which timestamp you need to maintain. So the timestamp will make a difference for the high level management to understand that this script got executed first and this script got executed second, and this was triggered. So they'll be able to get the hierarchy of execution. So that is the reason. That is one thing. That is one place. If it is not a banking or insurance domain, so for Selenium, that is one place where we get this need of date. Not only this one, but also there are some other places, some tables which will be having a date values, and we can sort on this. So basically, I want to say that date is one of the important thing that we need to do. We will be made to do some operations on need basis. Okay. Coming to strings. Sorry. So string declaration is something string str is equals to some value. So whatever you value enter whatever the value you enter here, it will be stored into str. So this is a string in standard format. I'm just making because we do not whenever we declare a string, we never declare it like this. So basically how the declaration goes is equal string str is equals to new so this is a standard that I'm declaring is standard, but never we do in such a way. So we'll just give that string str is equals to, we'll be giving that value. So this is sorry, I use some different no. Syntax error colon expected. I'm given it, right? Oh, wait. Okay. So basically for this, some syntax error is coming, but string, if we declare any string, string str is equals to new string is the what we need to give. After giving that, that variable will be assigning without this type, and will be just assigning the value to it. So this is how we declare a string, but no one uses the standard format that we are using that I'm showing you now. Mainly how the string is declared in while working on a project is string str2 is equals to some value that will be declared. So this is how we'll be using strings. So the main purpose of strings which we can do is there are many operations that we need to do on strings, and one important so did anyone try this, write a program on deleting a particular value in an array? Okay, just try it. Yeah, okay, just try it out.
Can we delete? Can we even delete an value?
Yeah, that is what. See, in arrays, I told that we can't delete. So if you want to make the result to show the result as deleted, suppose you have.
Right?
I just.
You can null it if it's a string.
No, not null is very different. It is not about null. See, if you see about these are the values in the string, and if you want to delete some particular value, if you want to delete, so what you need to do is at this index position of 0, 1, 2, 3, at this index position of 3, you need to assign 5, and at this index position of 4, you need to assign this value. And after assigning, if you print, the values will be like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Got me?
But the length of the array will still be the old length.
Yes, it will be 0 here. Or since, yes, make sure, see, it will be 0 if you are deleting this sixth value, means at the index value at this position. If you are not deleting, it will be 6 itself. So as per this program, you need to delete this position also and make it 0. Means just delete it, by default it will take 0.
So we need to delete 2 positions then?
I did not get you.
Here like array of 4 we are deleting it, and we are making it array of 5 in data into 4 one.
Yes, correct.
So so array of 5 will be moved to array of 4, and we are deleting array of 5. So last one, the 6th value, we are moving into the 5th position.
Yes.
And the 6th position will have, right?
It will be 6 if you don't assign it as 0, or if you keep it as is, it will be 6 itself. If you change it and if you make it to 0, it will be 0.
Oh.
And if you say that size of the array is 5, and if you don't assign any value, the default value that is taken into it is 0.
In real time, do we even delete values from arrays?
No.
Yeah.
No. So this is just for programming knowledge. Okay. Okay. Why I came here is strings. Then coming to strings, one of the most asked interview questions is reverse of a string. Okay. So this is most asked in interview questions. So I request everyone to work on this as well. So we'll be having But I'll be showing now. Means I'll be giving the hint over here. So if you have this string, str dot. What happened? Syntax error to complete method declaration. Hey, I was just entering this. We are writing this directly. There is no main here. Okay, sorry for that. I'll just copy all this. Okay. Yeah, now it is okay. You can see this as well. Yeah, now everything seems fine. Okay, that is what I was wondering. This simple, why do you know? So there was no main, there was no method. We did not declare any main, not even main. We did not declare any method. So that was the reason for the weird behavior. Okay. Now, so I told reverse of a string. Reverse of a string is very important interview question. So how do you do it? I'm just telling you that process or logic, like I said for arrays. So for the string, you need to get the character position, and in that character position, you need to assign this. You need to get the character at. Suppose if you have length of the string as 10, then character at 10th position you need to do a reverse for loop, and at 10th position whatever the character is there, then you need to put it in another string. You need to declare another string and put it into that string, and you need to repeat this loop till the length of the string is less than 1. Okay, so that will give strings reverse of a string. So this is very important interview question. And just see, when we are going for interview, sometimes we may miss so we have string methods for more, we have methods for most of the things, but for reverse we don't have. So just keep that in mind. Just feed it, because it will be asked for sure. If we come to the concept of string, first question will be this one only. Okay, and besides that, so when we want to compare two strings, this is for comparing two strings, and this is for comparing two strings. You are ignoring the case and concatenating two strings. So just look for all these options. There are many options here for strings. You can just check for it. Okay, this is string length. This is one of the important thing, like arrays what we have. Sorry. And so this is about string length, and I'm just seeing for some important methods. And this contains, see, Selenium testing is all about comparing the actual and expected values. So while doing Selenium automation also we'll be comparing actual and expected values. So this contains is mostly used if you have a success message after submitting an order. If we have a pop-up message or a message displayed on the application that successfully placed your order, or your order is success, or something like that, if you want to verify whether the flow of automation script that you have executed is submitted successfully, then you need to verify the success message. So the success message you need to verify, like you need to get the value from the application, and you'll be storing it somewhere like str, and after that dot contains, you need to check for contains, and then check for some message that Let's use success. So this is one of the scenario that we'll be using. Okay. So contains is one of the things. So just work on all these operations. Anyhow, I'll be giving you, I'll be covering few when I'm going with our project. So that is one thing. And coming to data conversions. So data conversions, it is very important. So I'll be telling you about from int to strings and from strings to integer.
Satish garu, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
When I'm declaring string 2, I'm getting an error like string cannot be resolved to a type.
Yes. So
What is that error?
So what is the value in the string that you are storing?
The same you're giving the double quotes, right? I'm giving the same for string 2.
No. What is the content you are storing?
This is a string. For string,
yes,
this is a string, but string 2, I didn't give the value. I just declared as double quotes.
Okay, so the condition here is when you're converting a string, see, it's just logical thinking also. If you're converting a string to an integer, after conversion, it should be an accepted fact that after converting the string value into an integer, it should be an integer value for sure, correct?
Yeah.
But what you're storing in the string is, it is a string value. See, basically this operation when we will need is, suppose we have an integer I is equals to, I'm just telling you, so this is 3. Now if I want to get the length of this integer, I can't get. So what I need to do, suppose if I say currency also, suppose if I'm in some banking domain and I say that it is some 45, so I want to check whether, basically it won't be in int, it will be in float, but I want to check that how many rupees or paise, how much is left or how much I want, or if there is any, if it is a decimal value or if it is an integer value. If I want to check, I can't check when this I value, this variable I is in the form of integer. So in that scenarios, I will need to convert this integer into string, and then I can get the length or whatever I want. I can check whether decimal dot is there. I can check, or I can get the length of decimal values. I can get how much size this is. So everything I can get. So basically, when you're converting a string to integer, make sure that the string value which you're converting should also be a integer value. Okay, then only it will convert. But when you have a string into a string value and when you're trying to convert it to integer, there is no use. So make sure that that simple point. Okay. Now why this is float. Okay. Now I'm just showing you integer j is equals to some. Now I'm just converting these two values, these two integers into string. So how I'm converting is, so it should be a capital integer I and integer dot to string, and the string value will be I. Yes. Now when I'm doing plus and integer dot to string j, so I'm just reducing these values for a easy calculation. 10. Now as per math or integers, when we add these two, we should get it as 30. But if you see the result, it will be different. See, this is a different one. I think this is a statement for 20, where did you, yes, this is the length of the string. Length of the string is 28, and when we add 10 and 20, it is 1020, because it did not consider these two as integers. It considered those two as string, and it concatenated those two strings. It connected, it appended those two strings. So this is the conversion. Now if I say the same thing, suppose I stored it in some, so it should be a string, since we are converting it into strings, and I stored it in some variable. Okay, sorry. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm just printing out k. So this will print 1020. Now what I'm doing is, again capital integer, capital I dot. So when you want to convert a string to an integer, use integer dot parseInt, and you need to give the string value. Okay, plus say some 30. Now let's see the result. So this is a string, and when we added this this string, we convert it into an integer, and we have added 30. So this is a value of here.
What did we do this in this statement?
Sorry.
Last one, what did we do here? We are
So we converted this string k into an integer, and then we added 30.
Oh, okay.
So this string is converted into an integer, and then a value of 30 is added to it.
When we convert this into integer, it will be the exact same number.
Yes, whatever is there in the string value, it will be the exact same number. Okay. So conversion is completed, and date. So date operators. So
we have a characters in the string, and when we convert it into integer, what will happen?
okay, that is what the same question I think someone just now asked. I think it's correct. I think. So just try it out. Okay.
Okay.
I think it will give a syntax error, or
does it take any binary code?
Yeah, it may. Conversions won't happen, I think.
Oh.
Let us see. Let us see.
Okay.
Okay. Number format exception. Okay. So this is not valid.
So then we can't change the character string into integer. Only we can change
Yeah, that is what I just said. Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, logical thinking also, this is not correct. And is not correct way of doing.
So we had a discussions on exceptions.
Okay, coming to Selenium, see, your exceptions will be handling it by try-catch operations, and it won't be more precise, means more deeper into exceptions. We won't be handling deeper. Means my point is simple. Exceptions will be handling, but we won't be looking deeper into which type of exceptions is this, which type of exception. That is not our concern. So ours will be like, so when Selenium, if the object or if the application is down or if object is not found, whatever exception we get, we'll be putting into the report and we'll just show them that this is the exception. So how they take it, how means how they take it. If suppose if it is a valid exception, means the application was down and the object did not come up and it failed, developers will be fixing it. And there will be some exceptions that we will be that we need to handle. Yes, that will be handled. But exceptions, I won't be going into deep. Suppose this is one of the exceptions that we got. So these exceptions, I won't be going deep. Any important interview question related exceptions, I'll be telling you, like array index out of bound. That is one important interview question when they'll be asking when you'll be getting that array index out of bound. So that's I'll be covering. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So coming to and the data operation that I'm giving you now. So these are only for Java 1.0. These are for latest versions only. So local date, local time, local date time. So I told you why we need this data operation. These are very important. And for data operations also, if you want to, suppose if you have a date, let me get the date first. If you have a date and if you want to do some operations on the date, then again you need to convert the date into a string and then do that operations and then back to, you need to convert to date. Date is equals to. So how to get the date, local date is local date dot. No. So if you see here,
Local spelling.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Why is this coming up? I just want to close this today. Okay. Okay. See now, if you see this, you won't be having any packages here. Nothing is imported here. So Java times you import, so you'll be having some imports. Okay. So basically, these are accepted by Java without having any specific imports. So these are accepted. So for some, if you're working on some ODBC, JDBC connection, means that is DB connections, then you need to import some special packages. If you're working on Selenium also, you need to import this package, means these jars you need to import. All these are import. Some are default, supported by default. So one among them is this math is also supported by default. Yeah, when we saw this, oh, okay. When you're doing this Armstrong numbers, you'll be seeing this math operations. So math is also supported by default. So like that, few things that are supported is date and this local data. So local time. So this will be getting local time. And I'll just print this now. Okay. Local date time. So local date. Okay. Why still another here? Colon. Okay. Now I'll just print out these values. Basically, when you're giving the folder structure that I said, they'll be using date, local date time.
You need to have plus before this.
Okay. If you see, this is the time. This is a date. So when you see the date, you see, even if you run the script in the next second also, you can differentiate because it is giving at the milliseconds level. So this is one that we'll be using. If you want to get the whole text over here, means we along with date and time, this is the place. Okay. Now coming to collections, I will go with the collections now. So conversion from it. Okay. So collections, as I told, collections is one of the advanced features that most of that means without without a question on collections, there won't be an interview. And collections and maps, I just keep that in mind. Means because it is used for working on multiple means huge set of data that is most frequently used in Selenium. So this is one of the thing. So it is a framework to store and manipulate the group of objects. So group of objects, if you want to store and manipulate, we'll be using collections. And operations on this collection, what are operations we can do is searching, sorting, inserting a value, manipulating, and deleting. So these are the operations that we can do in collections. And yes, collection is a single unit of object. So yes, in single unit of object, we can assign multiple data values and then we can just work on those. So collections has some interfaces. There are set, list, and queues. So in this, this is a hierarchy of collections. So collection is a interface. So it will be having three more subset of interfaces, that is a list, queue, and set. And when coming to arrays, if you declare an array and if you want to display its content, you'll be using a for loop. So for collections, they have designed a specific method of getting the values from the any of the collections, like whether it can be list or queue or set. If you want to get the values, you'll be using iterator. So if you see any code with iterator, then you can finalize that they are using collections over there. So iterator is one of the thing. And coming to the collection main points, that is, it will be having collections are of list types, queues, and sets. So our sessions will be covering on array list, linked list, hash set, and linked hash set. So these are the four things. Again, array list, linked list, hash set, listed hash set. So these are four things. Remaining you can just Google and see, because the remaining things are not used at all, at least for Selenium. Not even Selenium, I can say most of the things, most of the time they'll be going only for these four. Okay. And I'll be covering this hash set and array list in our program, in our project. Okay. So that I can assure you. And similar to collections, there is one more concept here is in collections. When coming to collections, there is one more concept here is maps. So what are these maps is, see, in DB side, if you have some experience, if you have worked on some select queries for testing, DB testing, you'll be having an option, means you'll be in a need, some need, like you have the employee ID and you need to get to which department he is related to. So that scenario should be seen. Or you have a name of the employee and you need to see how much that employee, what is the salary of that particular employee. So you'll be getting that scenarios. In that scenarios, so if let me take the first scenario. If you have an employee ID and you need to get the department to which he belongs to. Now, what you need to do is, generally in DB select queries, you'll be querying for that employee and displaying the department. In Java, so in Java also, if you have such scenario, so I'll tell you. Let me tell you in this way. Okay. So what I'll be using is, I'll be using maps in our project. So I say there are some. So coming to our project, we'll be taking the data. So ours is a data-driven project, means it will be like a data-driven project using data-driven project. So we'll be getting the data from the Excel, and the data which we are getting from the Excel, we'll use it in our application and then work on that. Suppose if you have a login scenario, then you need to enter the username and password. So where you're going to get this username and password is, in our project that I'm going to show, we'll be getting it from Excel. So I'll be saying that this is username and this is password. Okay. And if I say that username is test and password is password is 1234. Now what I'll do is with maps what I'll do is, I'll just take these column names. Before that also, so map will be having two things. One is key and other is value. So as I said, if you want to get the department of the employee, you need to key this, you need to provide this key. So based on this key value, you can do some operations based on this key. You can do some operations on this value. So based on this employee ID, you can get his department. In the similar way, I'll be storing this username, this header, Excel headers into this key. Suppose this key is also a list of values. It can store some list of values. It will be storing username and it will be storing password. So these are the two things it will be storing. And suppose if you have one more screen, suppose tickets, if you want to check for tickets, and if you have a ticket ID, that is TCID is equals to TCID underscore some ticket ID in this some format will be like this. So map, again in map, since it is a column name, I'll be storing it in the key. Now based on this key value, I can do some operations on the username. Suppose I want to execute this test case. And I have another test case. When this test case executes, I have another username and I have another password. So just don't get, if you get confusion, just ask me, okay? I'm making it as some value in it. Okay. No need of saving it now, but for our purpose. So now I'm executing the first test case. When I'm executing the first test case, what I'll do is I'll store all these values into this header, and I'll get these values, all these values into the key, username, password and tickets. I'll be storing it into the key, and I'll be storing this value, test, this password and this test case values into this value field. And I'll be operating on this key. Whenever I want to enter this username, that is test, I'll be entering this key value. I'll be providing this key value in the code, so it will enter this test value. Anyhow, I'll show you this. I think I'm just confusing you by providing some more inputs. But so this is how the maps work. Maps will have two values. One is key and value. Whenever you want to do an operation on value, you need to do it using the key. So just remember that. I think I confused you all, but anyhow, I'll clarify that. I'm just showing an example. Okay. Okay. So how you're going to, before adding the values, you need to see these are the array list, linked list, priority queues, hash set, linked hash set, tree hash set. So these are the types. And for adding the values into these collections, you can use add. And whatever element you want to add, you can just add. And for collections, you can just, if you want to add one collection into another, you can just say add all and just give the collection value. If you want to remove, a complete collection, and then you need to give a collection value, retain all. So there are multiple values. If you want to clear, it will clear everything. So there are multiple things contains also. So you can just verify this. I'll just show you how we can do on this. And coming to array list and linked list. So very important interview question. So in this tree structure, so what is the difference between array list and linked list? So these two. Under list we'll be dealing with two, array list and linked list. What is the difference between these two? And under set we'll be dealing with two things, hash set and linked hash set. What is the difference between these two? And in maps also we'll be dealing with two things, that is hash map and tree map, hash map and hash table. So not tree map, hash map and hash table. These are two things. Hash table we generally don't use, but the difference is important. Okay. So coming to array list can contain duplicate elements. Not only array list, list itself can contain duplicate elements, and it maintains an insertion order. And array list allows random access data at yes. Since by the name you can see that it is array list, so it will be maintaining the values in the form of an index. So based on an index, you can get the value easily. And manipulating the data in array list is slow because it maintains the concept of index, and you see that same is arrays. If you want to do many manipulations, it is difficult. See, at least to remove a value, you need to struggle a lot. So that is the same here. So basically the main difference between array list and linked list is, if you want to view the data, use array list. If you want to make some manipulations on the data, use linked list. So the first 3 points are same, and remaining points, only one point that is difference is, linked list is used for manipulating the data. If you want to manipulate the data, just use linked list. Okay, and since it is not using any index process, this linked list are faster than compared to array list. Okay. So one more thing is about, then coming to sets. For sets I did not cover any of my slides, but I want to just give a high level difference. So the difference between set and a list is, list can contain duplicate elements, whereas set contains a unique element. Okay, so this is one thing that you need to remember. If you are getting values from a table in an array, and if you are getting values from a table, and if you need to store the values from the table, if you know that the table will contain a duplicate value, then as a programmer you need to make it as a set so that it won't throw an error. But if you say that the table the table values which you are getting, if it is accepting duplicated, then make it as list, either array list or linked list, anything is fine. And coming to hash set, hash set contain unique elements only. Yes, that is why we said if it is a set, it can't contain duplicates. It contains only unique elements. Contain unique elements like yeah. The difference between hash set and linked hash set is hash set doesn't maintain any insertion order. So if you store 1, 2, 3, 4 in a series, and if you display the values in a hash set, it won't be coming in the series. It will be coming in some random order. But linked hash set, it is an extension of hash set. It has all the properties of hash set added. It will be maintaining the insertion order. So I'll just tell you, I'll show you all these things tomorrow. So no need to worry about this. And difference between hash set and linked hash set, an important interview question. And the same with the array list and linked list. Then coming to maps. So maps will contain, as I told, it will be containing two values. One is a key and other one is value. So based on this key, with the help of this key, you can make some operations on the value. Okay. And coming to hash map and linked hash map. So hash map, it contains values based on the key. Yes, it contains a unique element. It contains only unique elements. It may have null key or multiple null keys. So basically, it may have one null key. Yes, when coming to the key value, so this key value cannot be duplicate. It can contain null, but it can't be duplicate. So that is one thing to remember. I'll just tell you. Okay, so it can't be duplicate. And the difference between hash map and linked hash map is it maintains no order after displaying the values, but it maintains the insertion order, the same like that of sets. Okay, it was a bit quick run in a theoretical part, but in this practical I'll be giving you in detail. But more, if you want to understand, you'll be understanding when you're working on the project itself. So this is about the 4 things. Tomorrow I'll be giving the syntax and how to declare an array list, linked list, everything I'll be showing you how to do. Any questions?
Where do we use list and set?
Yes, list is used when you have when the values means when you have duplicate objects. See, basically our point will be like getting the values from the table or some operation, getting some values. Even I think in checkboxes and this one we won't have duplicates. So any place where you're going to get duplicate values, and if you want to do some operations on that, just use list. And if you're not if the values that suppose you're getting an employee ID column values, you're getting it, so you should make sure that that is not a duplicate. Then that time you need to give a set you need to give. If you're getting the if you're getting the values in the name column, so there is every chance that there will be a duplicate name. Then you can go for list or set, anything is fine. But if you go for set, some names will be missing. Okay, so this is one scenario, these 2 scenarios. Any other things?
Are you going to show real-time examples with connecting to a database?
Connecting to?
A database.
See, connecting to database and Unix systems, I can just give the code, but I can't connect to the real-time database because it is related to some username, passwords, and some port numbers. But for sure, means if you're working on any project and if you have this database features, I'll just give you the code and I'll help you in connecting it to it. That is I can do. That I can do. Okay. Because it is related to the port number. At least if you have the even username and password, we can't get. So for Unix system also, if you want to run some commands and get that also we need a real-time scenarios. So for that also you need a username, password, and that Unix box.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering if we can at least use Axe databases to make it look like real time when you teach us collections. And also
See,
when we get into Selenium.
yeah, the code I'll provide, which I provide, will be so one more thing. Just okay. Anyhow, you have asked me. I'll get for sure.
Okay.
And one more thing is, I have told you this already also.
Satish, it's not actually for the code that I'm asking.
No, I am just, my point here is,
Okay.
I am just showing you not because of the code. See, this is the code actually. This is the exact code for database connection.
Okay.
Yes. My point, I'm showing you this is, I again told you, this is one of the beautiful site. If this is down, 30%, 60% of development in the world will be down. I'm telling you again. So this code which you get, you can just directly copy and paste. It will work.
Okay.
100% it will work. Just you need to rename this with the host name of your database, this root and that name, username and password you need to replace, and then just run it. It will work. And when you are querying also, this select query which they gave here, they're passing here, the select query, it should be your own query, means related to your DB. 99.99, not even 100% this will work. Okay. So that is a see, and one more thing also, when you're going through Stack Overflow, see, whichever you no need to go there for any question that was asked, there will be multiple answers. So just check for an answer which has a tick mark, and then you can directly copy that code and you can paste it. It will work. So that also, that benefit also is there. So such things when coming to connecting to Unix systems or connecting to databases or some weird, some different scenarios, whichever you get, you don't just get panic. Just Google it for the Stack Overflow, you'll get direct codes. And you all know that Java is very old application. If you suppose if you say that you're working on this Angular JS or some latest technologies, there are chances of you not getting a code. But for Java, definitely you will get a code. No need to worry about that at all. Okay. So just don't get don't worry about that. It will work fine. 100% it will work. So these are code we use in our organization is this one, not the above one, but we use this. That is why We don't use this above. I actually did not see the above one also, but it is not in this format that we give. Yes, see, if you see this, it is for MySQL DB, but ours is Oracle. So that is also will make a difference. So make sure that DB that you want to check is same. Okay. In query also while googling, just make for Oracle. That also you can do. So that also you can provide. So just don't get worried about that. Same with the Unix, you can do that. Okay, did I answer your question, or still you have means that you are referring to some other point?
Yeah,
Which I missed?
I was referring to focus. It'll be even nice to have it connected to a database and do a projects.
Yeah, but in this session we can't just connect. It is difficult. Actually, to be frank, I put a lot of effort. Not even for this Java also, I put a lot of efforts in. I'll tell you that. When I'm doing training, there will be some scenarios. You can't expect all type of scenarios which we do in real time. See, I'll just tell you. See, if you see this drag and drop operation, or see mouse over operations, or frames. So these are some scenarios which we can't have, which we can't stick to one application and do all these operations. Suppose if you are working on one real-time application, so there will be many scenarios. Not only this, there will be many scenarios. But if I am giving for a training session, and if I want to cover all those scenarios, then I need to go for different applications. I can't get it one application.
Yeah, I totally understand that. That's the intent.
Yeah, I just want to tell you that. That's all. But DB, I can sure not only me, no one can give real time. And for us, another thing is we can't access from my system, from my home or anywhere. I can't access my office system also. That is one more drawback. See, office related to security, they won't allow us to do that. So that also I can't show. Okay. Okay, coming to the next class, I'll be from Monday. I'll be covering about the FirePath. I'll tell you what is FirePath and how to install it, and ways of identifying an object. This is very important topic, very much important. You'll definitely get questions. See, I told you again, interview will be of 3 parts. One is Java, one is Selenium, and other is test engine. Okay, so Java part, I have covered almost all the questions. I felt like it will be Arjun interviews I have covered, but just go with the Java basic interview questions also. That will be over there. And coming to next is Selenium. In Selenium, one of the definite question is about the how do you identify, what are the ways of identifying an object. So these are the ways, and I'll be telling you each and every way how you will be identifying it. And see, in interview question means there will be some more questions on these operations. So basically Java is completed. Now Selenium. From Monday I'll be coming with Selenium, and we can start working on that. So I have different applications for different scenarios. I may not be covering all in one application. So that is how it goes. Okay, any questions?
No, I'm good.
No.
Okay. Okay, then I take this as no more questions. Tomorrow we'll complete list and this collections, maps, and a high level. Some interview questions are there on OOPS concepts. I'll be covering those. Okay. From Monday we'll start Selenium. So one basic question: we have started our session from 2 weeks, right? Last 2 weeks, right? Not for Sureka. Remaining people I'm asking.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks for Java. Okay. Okay. Fine.
7 days, right? We started from
We started from?
Thursday.
Okay.
Wednesday
Anyhow.
or Thursday, so it's on 7 or 8 days.
Okay then.
Yeah, 7 days.
Also-
But it covered very fast. I'm on the same boat.
Yeah. Okay. Okay then. I'm stopping the sharing, stopping the recording.